Hey guys, welcome Rockford Ordnance and Koffee and Kalashnikovs for Wednesday, June 19th, 2024. I got to be a little careful here not to shake the table. Yep, no big news yet on the new home. We are still living in the mobile command center, ice station zebra, mud station zebra, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, we're still here. We'll get into that, give you some updates, what's going on, all that good stuff, what we've been doing, and give you a little apology too for, God, it's been weeks, maybe months, a month. I don't know. It's been a long time. That's all I can tell you. Put out a quick little video when the bump stock ban was overturned, and that's been about it. Just haven't had the time. Other pressing issues. Number one, this is the season my business gets going, and we do the majority of our business during the summer. So it's been crazy trying to get the house going, contractors, all that good stuff. But we've had a little fun here and there, and we'll get you all updated on it. And we'll go through some of, boy, lots of good things in the last week or two, huh? Just a ton of good stuff. And I'm hoping I don't have to stop here for a second and put my allergy medicine in, because I think the cat got me here and my eyes are bothering me. But going to wait for a couple people to filter in here. Everybody's probably given up on me, and but you can see a couple people here. Ross is in here. Good to see you, Ross. Long time. Chase Kelly, as always, he's in here. Great to see both of you guys. Joe's been in touch here and there. Been watching some of his videos. What's going on with him, and I'm sure a bunch of the other guys will drop in. But I started getting emails and texts from a bunch of you saying, "Oh my God, are you alive? What's going on? We're worried about you." And other people messaging me saying, "Hey, I'm Jones and I got nothing to do on Wednesday nights." Hold on one second, guys. I'm sorry, but if I don't do this now, I'll be screwing around through the whole thing. I got to put some eye drops in here real quick, or it's going to bug me the entire time. Simple as that. These things work so good usually. And hopefully I'll be able to see in a second without itching my eyeballs or scratching my eyeballs out of my head. Anyhow, like I said, we'll give it a couple minutes here, or it'll just be the three of us. Who knows? But it's been so long that who knows what'll happen. But we'll get going. So, man, like I said, it's got to be. I know it's at least a month. It may be pushing 2, but hey, who cares, right? We started where we left off. But give you a little bit. I owe you a little bit of an explanation, I guess. And so ever since we started building our house, I called it the Homestead Project, and I had big plans for it, going to show all these things going on. Well, work is going on the same time house building's going on, right? So until the house is done, the rest of it can't happen so much. And I called it a homestead because I guess that's what every home is in reality, right? It's where you lay your roots. You raise a family, a place to congregate, all that good stuff, right? But homestead goes a little deeper. Maybe a homestead could be a 1/4 acre lot in the city, right? There's amazing things people do with a 1/4 acre, with gardens and water projects and all kinds of things. But when you got a little more room to spread out, it just gets bigger, better. But it all takes time. And going through the winter was tough. You guys probably saw some pictures I posted where we were just snowed in here. We had -15. think about some people have a hard time keeping their regular house from freezing at -15. Well, we kept a motorhome from freezing at -15 with water in it, full plumbing. You got to do certain things to enclose bottoms and heaters, electric heaters, space heaters, light bulbs, all kinds of stuff. But we made it through. It was a long winter. And then spring comes, and of course we have I don't know if it's a record, but we had a lot of rain this spring, and it kept coming in deluges. We've got a very long driveway or lane coming up to the house, and it's two hills kind of meet at the bottom, halfway up the drive. And we get a little lake down there about 80 feet across, and sometimes almost 2 feet deep. So we have to ford, I guess is the word. Have to ford that once in a while, and we've made a track around, and I've tried to get rid of it. And now it's dry, hot, of course, typical Wisconsin. We go from spring to summer with nothing, or winter to summer, and very little in between. And now we're roasting. I left the window open behind me for the first time in a long time. In the winter, you wouldn't see anything. It was just dark, but we had a tree branch fall down here. It makes the most god-awful noises at night when the wind's blowing, and it's like nails on a chalkboard. So I go to get my chainsaw fired up, and of course I can't get that started. So I don't know what I'm going to do here, but you got to get that cut down. Showed you guys videos of this road going in, all the rock we brought in. Well, we've made tremendous progress. Last time I talked to you, we had a foundation, we had walls. I think I had a roof. Everything's done on the outside except for siding, and the siding was delivered. We got a problem with pricing on the contractor to install it. But hopefully I have a solution to that problem. And all the roof's on except a couple of sections over the porch, which are going to be steel roof, and I think I have a solution for that. Basement floors have been poured cement. The garage floors are poured cement. Everything's framed out inside. All the electrical is in. All the plumbing is in. All the HVAC is in except setting the AC unit. Even the transfer switch for a generator, backup generator, and all. LP tank is put in. Well is in finally. And when I got home tonight, I see that my septic guy is here with his backhoe. We have 2 backhoes now because they've been grading, not a final grade, but pretty close to it. They've been doing that all around the house, and they took down I don't know if I showed it in videos, but there were huge dirt mounds from what we excavated from the house and the drive. That's all gone. All the scrub trees around. It's so weird. It looked like my front yard had all these trees. Now there's nothing. You just see house. So it'll look fine when grass and landscaping gets in. But all the trees we're going to remove are down. Everything's graded. Backyard decks are up except for the actual decking. Everything is moving along great. We're drywall and insulation are starting any day, and hopefully this siding contractor can get the siding up because it's sitting waiting. Got a couple windows on special order that'll be here any day. And yeah, once that goes, now it's trim and flooring and cabinets and all of that. So we were hoping to be in by 4th of July. It was going to be a heck of a celebration, right? Well, right now, the builder's thinking, and I'm thinking August, maybe into September, which, if you think about it, we really started this thing in, I think, December is when I know through hunting season, they hadn't really touched anything, had a test thing. They took a few trees out to test for the septic. And then they really didn't start doing nothing until November or December. So I knew it was going to be a year. That's what it took last time. And anything faster than that would be gravy. But if you think about it, I can't remember if it was November, December, whatever. If we're done in August or September, wow, that's moving for such a project of this magnitude. So what have we done with the rest of it? Well, the farmer had put rye in after they harvested the corn last year. And this gets into what's going to happen with deer hunting this year here too. And yes, we did hunt rifle season with an AK-47. Yep, it's legal. If there's anybody in here that doesn't know, it's completely legal. Wisconsin, there's not even a mag restriction. You can hunt with a 30-round mag. I didn't. I hunted with a 5-round mag, but you could have, I guess. I don't see the need. He must be I'll tell you a funny story. Somebody remind me about the opening morning gun season deer story in a minute with the AK. Anyhow, they harvested the corn. They put rye down, and it's a cover crop. It holds the soil in, because the guy that we lease it to does a no-till thing, which is a good thing. Then they come in, they kill off the rye. That goes down into the ground, feeds everything. If you're planting corn too, it also gives off a chemical similar to it acts as an herbicide against other plants, but corn is resistant to it. So it helps keep the weeds down naturally. So that's pretty cool too. We had thought they were going to put soybeans in, and I was kind of interested as to how it would change the hunting here, because corn and its height gives you a ton of coverage and sort of blocks the view of where deer are bedded and this and that, because there's a lot of traffic going on. I was worried about all this construction bothering the deer, and the deer, over the winter, they kind of disappear anyways. But I haven't put cameras out yet, but I really haven't seen all that many tracks. So surely nothing like it was before, but you can imagine everything going on. And I thought soybeans, being a much lower, as far as height goes, crop, that it might give almost too much visibility. You want your comings and goings not to be seen all the time. You want to stay out of there. Just let them have it. That's their area, peace and quiet type thing. And I think even with everything that's going on, the rest of the acreage, I think the deer are going to be okay. Well, long story short, they planted corn again this year, which I haven't talked to them about it yet, but I'm kind of glad, because that will mean one less change to the property, and it'll give me an idea of how much all this craziness with the construction affected it come season. I'm going to get the cameras out another week or so. We'll kind of take inventory of what's around and maybe what's back from last year, what made it through, that type of thing. So that'll be interesting to see. So that's what's going on there. Some of the different clearings between woods and ag acres. We mowed them once and have left them alone, and the growth with the heat and the rain, it's amazing. Some of it's head high already. Our corn is thigh high. They used to say knee high by 4th of July. Well, it's thigh high. So that's crazy, to say the least. But it's been great weather, and thank God that put us ahead on the construction. We have done some shooting. I've partnered up with a neighbor here who borders us, and he's got way more acres than I could ever have. But they border the back of our property, and he's also a bow hunter. So we're working together with some food plots and different things just to make everything in our area here more attractive to deer, make the hunting better. If it's anything like it was last year, I'd be happy with it from now till the day I'm pushing up daisies, but who knows? I hope I didn't affect it too much. Anyhow, we've been shooting with him. Where our properties meet, there's a lane that goes a long way into a hill, and we put steel down there. On the main range, I guess you'd say, we can shoot 300. We've shot 100, 200, 300. But if we angle across the properties into that same hill, we can get out to 1,000. But we got to do it before the corn gets too high. Otherwise, we miss that window of opportunity. But it'll come again, fall, winter, whatever. But 1,000's a long way. 300's a ton of fun. It's a good range to get good at. If you can hit at 300 consistently, you ain't got much to worry about. It's nice. You go out to 300 and 200 seems like nothing, and 100 seems like a handgun range. Matter of fact, I'm plopping them in there with a Glock, at 100 like nothing. But it's pretty funny. But we got to shoot a bunch of stuff, ARs, AKs. Have not got the precision rifles out yet, but went and got one of mine and, cleaned it, got everything set. And he's had a family emergency, so hopefully we can hook up this weekend and do it. On top of that, this channel is AKs, guns, a little bit of everything, but all of us, if you're into guns, you're usually just an outdoor person. So, I do a ton of fishing too. I love to fish. And the lake that's near us, the main town we're near, is named after the lake, or the lake's named after the town, or what have you. But I had always heard that this lake was kind of not the greatest for fishing. Tons of weeds, a lot of rough fish, carp, stuff like that. And that's just kind of the mental image I had of this lake. Well, we move up here and looking around, and boy, it seems pretty nice. I went out fishing one night with a buddy of mine, met him at the pier, and we caught nice northern, and I heard there was great walleye fishing. So got out on the lake and just kind of took a look at the topographical and started looking at stuff on my graph, and I pull up to a point with a steep drop off, and don't you know, bang, 21-inch walleye. And then bang, 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 bang. The first night, we had a bunch of walleye. I lost count, and it was, I don't know, 4 to 6, somewhere in there. Not one of them. Well, let me hold on a second. Then the bass started hitting, largemouth, and a couple smaller ones that might, on the small end, maybe 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds. Majority were in that 3-pound range, and some up to 5. Largemouth and smallmouth. And I hate to say it, but they've become a nuisance almost. When you're fishing for walleye, and they start taking your bait, it gets expensive. It's like, damn bass, get off here. I never thought I'd be like wishing I didn't have fish biting the hook, but man, these largemouth are fighting as hard as the smallmouth here, and coming out of the water and all kinds of craziness. Some nice northerns, some really big bluegills there on their spawning beds. I got some pictures. They're as big as my palm and up my hand, about past my watch. So they're pretty good size bluegill, And you can see them down in about 10 to 12 feet of water. And there's a lot of weeds in this lake, but they're not too high yet. And you can see their beds clearly, and they're guarding them. So really, we've just been fishing with jigs, running them through. And I fished a Tuesday night, a Thursday night, Sunday, and then I fished yesterday. And I thought with the heat and all, it's going to be crappy. And then it got really windy. Well, I get out to the same spot and just crush them. The best night ever. Walleye after walleye after walleye. Between all these nights, I caught one fish that was 18 inches, and everything else was 21 to 25 inches. Big walleyes. The bass are just magnificent. Big bluegills. Only two northerns total. You never know what you're going to pull up. You really don't. And I wish I could target them a little more. I'm fishing a classic walleye rig, but everything's just pounding this thing. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And just having a blast with it. So that's been taking up a lot of my time, and working with the builder and all that. So we've got a little bit of shooting in, but a ton of fishing. And it's hot now. It's dog days almost, and it's only June. But now that things are calming down, kind of almost there, we are going to get out and do a lot more shooting and a lot more videos. So you'll have a bunch of that coming. I went to, I'll call it the vault, where everything's stored, and got a few favorite players out of storage and ready to go for some video. Some stuff that we haven't touched in quite a while. We're still working on videos for the Zastava underfolder, which I'm loving, by the way. Another couple hundred rounds through it. It's been flawless. I did go, we had our old M70 underfolder here, and I went and got the fixed stock so we could kind of compare and contrast back and forth. So I'm looking forward to some videos on that. What else? Oh, so this is a suppressor state. We can have suppressors here. And if you look back in my videos, one of my favorite small sub-gun style pistols are my Scorpions. I love my Scorpions, especially the micro. And they came out with one that had a faux suppressor on it by Silencer Co. Looked like an Osprey. And I always wanted a suppressor for it. I thought, what a cool gun. And I love the look of the Osprey on there. It fits inside the HB Industries handguard that's on it. And that all came stock from the factory. And I had been told that, oh, it doesn't fit. It's off by a little bit. But I met a couple guys and started talking with them, and they got it to fit. So we're going to order up an Osprey. They're on back order right now. But we're going to order one up and get that going. In the meantime, I'm just going to shoot it and have a ball with it because it's so much fun. And we've got the HK MP5 here, kind of compare and contrast in a video. Frankly, you know, that MP5 is an iconic submachine gun. Yeah, obviously in the semi-automatic form, but it's iconic, right? Everybody knows an MP5 no matter what. And everybody, for a lot of people, it's their unicorn. You know, it's the one thing they want. And I kind of thought the same thing. Well, what any collection worth its salt should have one, right? And there's a lot of clones out there and others that are built in other HK authorized factories. You know, Century puts one good one out. There's a bunch of them. And but if I was going to have one, I wanted the real McCoy. And so you guys saw the videos on it. Frankly, I could live without it. At the end of the day, it didn't excite me all that much. You know, everybody wants to do the HK slap and all that good stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's a fine weapon. If it was my only subgun, yeah, it'd be great. Fabulous. But I got to say, and some people are going to go, oh, this guy's nuts. You know, those Scorpions are junk and they got bolt problems and this and that. Yeah, they do. But they're used by militaries around the world. And got an ad coming up here. We're going to skip it for you guys. Doesn't pay much anyways. I'd rather talk to you guys. So at the end of the day, I love these Scorpions. And maybe partially because I have optics on them and I don't have one on the HK yet. To put an optic on the HK, you can go a couple ways. But it all comes down to the mount. You can, whatever you want to put on it. You want to put an aim point on it. You want to put a Holosun on it. You want to go cheap. You want to go expensive. Whatever you want to do, you can do. But it all comes down to the mount, because the mounting system on these guns, think about how long these guns have been out. We're talking about a gun that's still in production. I think it's almost 50 years, at least 40 years later. So it's not the newest technology, so to speak. There's tons of other things that are out there that arguably work just as well for a whole lot less money. In some cases, 1/6 of the money. No, let's see. Geez, yeah, 1/6 of the money of these things. Scorpion is 1/6 the price. So if you're going to bang on scorpions, you know, you want one for 500, or you want one for 3,000. Is it worth 2,500 additional to say, "Ooh, I got an HK"? I don't know. I don't really care. I don't know, but it comes down to how good your mount is on the HK MP5. It's a claw mount, so it goes over the top of the receiver, and there's 4 little flats on the side, and they kind of grip with a hook style over the top and clamp in. Not the greatest system. If you have an HK made mount, or one made by like B&T out of Switzerland that makes them for them, those are great mounts. You'll mount it, they'll never move. Other stuff, maybe not so much, especially, any of the Chinesium that's out there. Midwest Industries has some that I hear work pretty well. But you can mount just about any optic on them. The HK one is very expensive for what it is. And I've been kicking it around. It's nice because it goes over the top and there's a cutout in it, so you can see the serial number through it and all. And here, if you spent the money for an HK, you might as well spend the money for the HK mount, right? It's like having Korean mags in your HK instead of real HK mags, which I got a problem with that I'll tell you about, which was kind of shocking. Wow, look at that sky behind me. Let's see. Kind of nice, huh? Sunsets over that way. It's been just great weather last few days, but that looks pretty neat on camera. Looks better on camera than in person. Anyhow, and it's not crazy money. I guess maybe I can't remember off the top of my head, 300-400, something like that. And would I put an aim point or something? Absolutely not. I'd put another Holosun or primary arms on it. And just a red dot, simple red dot. And maybe that's what I'm not liking. Although the HK sights are fabulous, circle in circle kind of thing. You can pick them up real quick, and there's some aftermarket sights and stuff you can get, different, like a chevron in the front sight, that type of thing. Maybe it's just that. I don't know. Plus, the brace thing happened right after it. Well, that leads us to some other stuff. We'll get into the brace thing and all these other great court cases that are seemingly going our way lately. Anyhow, I want to compare and contrast the Scorpion and that. And I've got a couple other similar style guns that we'll compare. Ruger, the full-size Scorpion, a few other things, and just kind of go back and forth on them and see, hey, is it worth the money? Can you live without it? Are they just as reliable? What have you? Scorpions have a bolt problem where the metal's a little soft, and the little detent in there, so the trigger doesn't, so you don't have an out of battery round go off. That metal can smear over and keep that button pushed up, which happened on mine. Matter of fact, it happened on mine before it even became a thing on the internet. So one day I saw a story. I said, hell, that's happened to mine 6 months ago. What are you guys bitching about? Get a file and take off that little metal that went over it and keep running it and see if it happens again. Well, it hasn't smeared anymore. It's kind of like an AK wearing it. I guess if you're an AK guy and you own a Scorpion, you're probably good with it. If you're an AR guy and you own a Scorpion and it happens, you're probably not good with it. But not a big thing. And there's a company out there making new bolts now. The big rub is that CZ is not taking care of it. They're not paying for what is seen as a big problem. But I guarantee early on, all those Scorpions where you saw the sides blowing out of the receiver, the plastic and stuff, probably due to that. People were saying, oh, it's different triggers and stuff like that, or release triggers and things like that. No, it wasn't that. It was just a battery probably caused by this, or possibly some bad ammunition, but whatever. I can't tell you how much I like those guns. They're just fabulous. So you'll see a bunch of videos on that. And with the brace thing, I thought, time to bring braces back out, right? So yeah, some great court cases. So we did get a win in the arm brace case. Right now, I guess legally, it really only applies in the Fifth Circuit, I believe. If I'm mistaken, somebody tell me, but I'm 99% sure. And or if you're a member of certain other organizations, this and that. ATF says they're not going to do any enforcement action right now, but I don't know. That I'll leave up to you guys. And of course, the Supreme Court overturned the bump stock ban. Now, of course, yesterday, Chuck Schumer got up in front of everyone and said, we want to, I think, what they call it, ban the bump or something, or I don't know, some play on words like that. And basically, he wanted to call a vote right then and there for a unanimous vote and get rid of them. Well, all you needed was one person to stand up and be against it, and it was shot down, and that was done immediately. It was kind of weird how the Democrats did it, though. Obviously, they knew they weren't going to win this vote, but gives the press all kinds of talking points, and they really kind of failed in their mission there. So kind of strange. I don't know if they didn't plan it well. I don't think that's it, because they seem to plan everything. But here, you want to throw another vote up or pass another law? It's been ruled unconstitutional. But you'll pass another one and let us have to fight it again when you know full well there needs to be penalties for anyone that tries to bring a vote to the floor to put in place an unconstitutional law that has already been found unconstitutional. It just needs to stop. They know it's a time thing. If you get a vote to pass to ban this or that or mags or what have you, and which they know has already been found constitutional, they pass it, and essentially they're illegal, because their brown shirts are going to go around and enforce it and put you and I in jail for 10 years or more, and for every count. And what are you going to do about it? Well, it takes to the Supreme Court. Well, anything there takes normal circumstances, even with fast tracking, 8-10 years and millions of dollars, because you got to work your way through all the court systems, from the regular courts to the appeal courts to the state courts, Supreme Court, state Supreme Court, on and on and on. And then the Supreme Court has to take the case. They may not take the case. So they know it's time game. If they pass a law, they get a quick 8-10 years of you and I not having our rights. And it's crazy. Anyhow, we all know the game. I'm preaching to the choir here. But yeah, so they tried that right away, and they're going to demonize it. Think about it, guys. It's like braces. They don't even know how many, but they like to use the word 1 million, 3 million, 6 million. There's more like 40 million of these things out there. I mean, it's crazy. And bump stocks, same thing. Bump stocks have been around forever, and multiple companies making them for multiple platforms. And let's face it, you can do it with your belt loop or a rubber band or numerous things, right? You don't need a special stock to do it. So as the old saying goes, what are they going to do? Ban thumbs and belt loops? In the history of this country, possibly the world, I don't know, but for sure this country, there's been one episode where one was used, and arguably ineffectively. We all know that even if it were a real machine gun, which those are not machine guns, they're just not. Congress defined what a machine gun is, and that's not it. It's not. It's not one pull of the trigger. It's your finger is hitting the trigger for every shot multiple times. So no way, shape, or form does it act like a machine gun. And the Supreme Court has ruled the same with all their experts and everybody else. So that's all we have to go off of. Even with a machine gun, real machine gun, a full auto, let's not use the word machine gun, a full auto weapon, which are legal in this country, by the way. There's so many people that think machine guns are illegal for some reason, and they're not. Any U.S. citizen that can pass a regular background check for a regular gun can buy a fully automatic weapon of their choice. As long as it's on the NFA registry, you can buy it. And there's, I forget, what is it? At least 100,000. I can't remember now. About 100,000, maybe 700. I don't know. It's a lot. You can have your choice. I mean, go to any NFA auction, and there's Uzis, AKs, M16s, Mac 10s, you name it. It's out there. You can buy a trigger group in full auto for an MP5 and pay your $200 tax stamp, and you, Mr. John Q. Public citizen, owns a machine gun, and you can shoot it, and you can keep it in your home, and you can do whatever you want with it. It's yours. So I don't know where this starts. Anyhow, we all know that, well, at least people that are familiar with firearms, shoot, train, all the things we do. We all know that fully automatic fire is nowhere close to the accuracy of aimed semi-automatic fire. It's just not. That's not. Fully automatic weapons are not made to mow down people, as they say. That's not what they're made for. They are made to be suppressing fire, to keep heads down, to allow troops movement. So in a typical situation, you will have light machine guns, etc., lay down what's called covering fire, right? And that forces the enemy to keep their head down or stay behind cover, and the rest of the unit can move. Because if you're not moving, you're dead, right? Period. Keep moving. That's what it's there for. It's not for mowing down the zombie masses. It's to overwhelm, strike fear. But yes, they can do what any other firearm can do. But that's what they are meant for. And they are not accurate when used in that mode. I'm not going to say they're not accurate close up, but it's not what they're used for. And now when you use a bump stock, they're ridiculously inaccurate because the effort or movement or muscle memory movement that has to be used in order for bump firing to work doesn't work well with holding accuracy. You're actually pushing the opposite way of what you would normally do with aimed fire. So, yeah, no, it's not accurate at all, not even close. I think if that person that did that stuff out in Vegas had used anything but that, it would have been a much bigger tragedy than it already was. But with all those out there, on the streets, as they say, they're laying all over the streets like sewer caps, right? It's been one thing happen. One. That's it. if you really want to make a dent, want to make a difference in crime, why wouldn't you ban handguns that are used in 98% of the crimes out there? It's not rifles. It's not their assault weapons. It's not their machine guns. It's not their bump stocks. It's not their arm braces. It's none of that. It's plain old handguns. If they wanted to seriously go after crime, and that was their intent, to make everyone safe, then they would go after pistols. But they won't, because that's not their intent. They don't care if you're safe. They don't give a rat's ass if you're safe or your children are safe. They literally don't care. Matter of fact, when 20 or 30 get done, it's that's big news, and jump on the bandwagon. That just helps the cause, right? They celebrate it because they figure they'll get some movement out of it, right? They use it as a news story. We all know this, and we all know what they want. They want all guns gone, period. They don't want you to have anything. Look what's going on over in Great Britain right now. There's literally talk about banning knives. So they took away the guns, and what happens? Now they're killing each other with knives. It's gotten so bad that these geniuses are literally talking about it. It's a bunch of videos on YouTube, talk shows, blogs, all kinds of stuff, live streams, news reports, where they're debating the topic. I never thought I'd hear such ridiculous things, but it's out there. What are you going to do? Ban fists, baseball bats, cars, what have you? Maybe they should worry more about who's coming into this country. Anyhow, making progress. Bump stocks seem good to go. So if, of course, you all got rid of yours, if you had one. You broke it into a million pieces, melted it down, threw it in a wood chipper, right? Or maybe you just got to go grab the shovel and your little map with the X marks the spot and go dig her up, huh? Well, if you did, yeah, go dig her up. What the heck? Or maybe it got stuck in the bottom corner of your garbage can, or maybe you could glue it back together. I wonder if they're going to sell new ones. Haven't heard anything about that. Maybe you're just hearing about it for the first time and didn't even know they were banned and still got them. Well, hey, you're good to go again. Hopefully it didn't go out and flaunt them at a range somewhere near you. But yeah, you can go have a little fun. Arm braces, we're good to go for now. That's going to fall. The Illinois thing's going to fall eventually, but that's getting dragged out. They know it's unconstitutional. They passed it anyways. And look, everybody thought, oh, they'll stop it. They'll stop it. It'll go away. Yeah, you guys got time. And in the meantime, it's a lot of shops closing out there. You've all heard of DSA, who makes all the FNFALs. They are located near Chicago. I believe it's Elk Grove or Elmhurst, maybe, right near O'Hare Airport. That's where they're manufactured. They also have a retail FFL in a northwest suburb of Chicago. And I can't remember the name of it, but it's owned and run by DSA. And I don't know, 2 years ago maybe or so, I was in there before. Obviously, it was before this ban in Illinois. I was there visiting some friends, and they took me over there. And they had a lot of DSA product FNs there, and they had the Hebrew hammer, and I had always wanted one. And I said, they had a picture on the wall and an advertisement. I said, do you guys have any of these? He said, well, we're DSA. I'm like, whoa, okay, I didn't know that. Another channel, El Tenda's channel, my good buddy Breezy, he's got some connections over at DSA, and they gave him a couple FNs to review. I got to review with them and shoot them. And I thought, oh, maybe I'll make a phone call again. But they had a Hebrew hammer there. I talked to him about if they were going to make any more. He said, well, most of our kits, we don't have any decent wood left, because that's how you want it. You want it with that wood. That's what made that gun. And if I could find the wood, they could do it, this and that. Well, that store's gone, because let's face it, I'm shocked that most FFLs, frankly, haven't closed in Illinois. You walk in a shop that previously, before all of this, there was like any gun shop near 90% of us, right? ARs, AKs, this, that, everything you could imagine, right? Well, what can you sell in Illinois now? Think about it. You walk in a gun shop, you may have some Smith & Wesson revolvers, maybe some Charter Arms, Ruger, well, no, you can't sell Heritage, because they have a Saturday night special law in Illinois that doesn't allow any weapons with zinc content or whatever, pot metal basically. And some of or most of the Heritages fall under that. You'll have some semi-automatic pistols, but wait, got to be under 10 or 11 rounds, whatever it is. So you got those. You got hunting guns, bolt actions, shotguns, but no mag-fed shotguns, so nothing too fun. Maybe a trap gun, hunting gun, and frankly, a lot of semi-automatic everyday guns you and I think nothing of fell under that. They don't have much to sell. You can't even sell an accessory for an AR-15. You want to put a different stock on your AR? Can't get one. Want to put a different forend on it? Can't get one. Anything Magpul? Buy, gone. Can't sell it. What's left to sell? Ammo? A few guns? There's nothing left. I don't know how you stay in business on that. Illinois is a pretty big deer hunting state, but most of the good hunting, isn't up in that northeastern end of Illinois. And it still is a shotgun only state, other than straight wall cartridges. A few guns there. Yeah, there's no more pheasants left in Illinois either. They're all gone. There's no wild birds left. You have some clubs and whatnot where, you get pen raised birds. So maybe they sell a few shotguns, but how do you stay in business like that? Well, you could sell online, I guess, out of state, stuff like that. But it's hard. So that DSA retail store, they closed their doors. I guess didn't find it profitable enough. I don't know the details, I'm guessing, but nice store, big store, had a lot of stuff. Almost bought a Barrett from there. When they knew that law was coming, and I was a Wisconsin resident, so I could have bought it. But I'm shocked that a lot of more places haven't gone out. And you got so many manufacturers down there. Them, they'll let stay, no problem. Manufacture all you want. Manufacture all those deadly assault weapons. Just ship them somewhere else. We're okay with that. Tax dollars. Ching. Fun. Let's see who's in here, and then we'll get into some other stuff. So early on, Ross was in, and Chase, and maybe it's just them. Josh H. Any new gun purchases? No. Not a one, if you can believe that. This is, like I said, been the longest dry spell. I mean, the videos, I've done one or two videos in almost a year. Just these live streams, and just literally have not had the time to do it, to actually get out and see what's out there. No, there's not much out there I'd buy right now. There really isn't. There's nothing new that really trips my trigger, other than no pun intended, other than the Zastava underfolder that came out. I don't know. I mean, what else is out there? I'd like a Polish gun, a few other things, but I literally have not been going to all my usual haunts and making the rounds to the different shops, seeing if something caught my eye, that type of thing. But we'll get back into it. No problem there. We'll figure it out. So, yeah, no, nothing new. Let's see. Life is too short to spend it in court. Ain't that the truth? You know, at the end of the day, the brace thing, the bump stock thing, mag bands, all this crap. If there was, it comes down to, it's got to, at the end of the day, if you live in one of those states, because I thought heavily about this when I was living down in Illinois before moving out. I thought heavily about just non-compliance, period. And not where, oh, well, we just won't take them out. No, take them out, shoot them, do whatever. Somebody wants to arrest you, charge you, well, we'll go with the flow, I guess. But at the end, and it's easy to say when you're not living there anymore, I guess. But at the end of the day, it's an unconstitutional, illegal law. And yes, it would cost a lot of money to fight it. But if that happened, you'd have a lot of organizations backing you. I don't think that would be a problem. But think about it. Have there been any arrests on it yet? You know, they were grandfathered. But yet, no one I know that has one in Illinois has taken it out to shoot. Haven't gone to a range, haven't done anything. Why? Because they didn't register. You know, what was it, less than 1%? Great job, Pritzker. Way to go, buddy. What a joke. All those sheriffs said they wouldn't do it anyways. State police might. I don't know. I wouldn't worry about it. I'd go to the range and have a blast. And hopefully your local range won't stop you or make you produce anything, which I don't think they could. They could ask you to leave, I guess. But yeah, no, I wouldn't bother with it. I truly, truly wouldn't. And some of you might say, well, yeah, easy to say when you live there. I don't know. I truly, in my heart of hearts, if I was there, I would not follow it. Nope, wouldn't, and I wouldn't be afraid one bit. Not one bit. Globalism, absolutely. That's what this is all about at the end of the day, guys. It's not this party, that party, yada, yada, yada. It's globalism. That's what's being pushed. You just have politicians who are on board with it. But they don't realize at the end of the day that they won't be on the ship, so to speak. Yours caught on fire. Oh, I hope you didn't pour lighter fluid on it and accelerate it, did you? Was it just a big lump of steaming, gooey plastic at the end of the day? You could melt it again. Yeah, put it back together. We can rebuild it. The $6 million stock. Did you get that? Yes, I got the tractor back up and running. Matter of fact, it's right out there. I don't know when the tree's in the way, but just beyond the tree branch is my side-by-side, and just beyond that is the tractor. And here's what happened. For those of you, yes, it's a gun channel, but there's a lot going on with the building of the house and all the cool stuff. We're going to have ranges, and we got hunting, and we got all this cool stuff, and we're going to have grow a few things, and we're going to have some animals and chickens and whatnot. It's going to be cool. And part of that, building the range and all, you need stuff to move dirt and do it. So I bought a tractor. With the building of the house, as you can imagine, there wasn't a lot of money floating around, right? Because everything's going into that. And once that's done, we'll see what's what. But we needed a tractor for some things, the driveway, and with a bucket. Well, to buy a John Deere, anything more than a 1 Series, and I'm not talking a lawn tractor here, I'm talking, a 35 to 50 horse tractor, larger frame. It's still a compact, or it's not a subcompact, but a compact or utility tractor. So, you got tires that are, 4 feet high in the back or whatever. Something that has some weight behind it. To buy a John Deere in that size is minimum 65 grand up. You go to some of the Korean brands, or like even a Kubota is damn near what a John Deere is. So Kubota's out. You've got LS, TYM, Branson, which was bought up by TYM, New Holland. They're built by different companies, but so many of them use all the same switches, knobs, this, that. They almost look the same. Some build for the other manufacturer. Matter of fact, a lot of John Deeres are built by other companies, including Korean companies. Anyways, I bought a TYM, an older one. Had lived most of its life outside. It was red. It's sort of red and pink now from sitting outside. I did a lot of research, and the TYMs are great. And this has a Mitsubishi diesel in it. Engine runs flawless. Perfect from the day I got it. But I sort of trusted this guy because I had done business in a different realm with him before. And I thought, it's good to go. And when we got there, it was winter. It was cold. It was in his pole barn. Started it up for me, no problem. He then called out a couple problems. There was a sight glass on the transmission or differential that was leaking. And one of the joysticks for the bucket, one of the cables was bad. And he wanted to repair those. He had the parts on the way. He wanted to repair those before I paid for it and picked it up. So you're standing there. It's running good. I didn't drive it. Couldn't really. But the guy says, hey, I'm fixing this and fixing that. I want them fixed before I sell it. I want everything right. So you kind of go, okay. Oh, man, what a nice guy. He's taking care of this, So I go to pick it up, and he's got the sight glass in. He's got the cable in. Everything's to work. It seems good. I called and told him I'm on my way. Well, when I pull up with the trailer, I see I'm getting things together in the truck, and I see the barn open. He comes out, drives it, swings around real quick behind the trailer and loads it up. And I help tie it down. And he tells me, see, I got the sight glass, and look, the loader's working, and saw him drive it out and everything. Didn't think nothing of it. Everything's good. Start to use it, and almost immediately, the steering, something's wrong. Going in a straight line, and all of a sudden, like a car, it starts to drift a little bit, and you try to turn the wheel to bring it back, and no matter how much you turn or whatever, it won't straighten out. You turn it real fast, it'll straighten out. But try doing any type of work with a tractor and holding a straight line when the hydraulics aren't working. And it's a spool valve. The way it works is kind of a bit complicated. It's simple yet complicated. At the end of the day, really there's two things that could go wrong with it, because it wasn't leaking externally. It was leaking internally. So it's either that spool valve up by the steering wheel, which is an $800 part, or it's the steering cylinder, which is basically a hydraulic cylinder that pushes the tie rods and whatnot side to side to steer, which originally everybody said was unrebuildable, and that they're $800. And then you got to figure out which one, because if you guess and you're wrong, now you got $1,600. And if one's going bad, the other one's probably going to go bad soon anyways. Long story short, I figured out I do a few tests on the upper one, and it's fine. I pull the cylinder out. It's rebuildable. I take it to a local guy, and for $150 or whatever it was, he rebuilds it with way better seals and everything. The steering was working fabulously. The bucket was a pain. The joystick, cables, all of this. I rebuilt the whole joystick, but yet it was sloppy. Normally they return to center, right? It's by spring action. You can move it over and it'll go bing, back into position. Wouldn't do that. So at center it, you'd think everything's good, bucket's sitting where it is. You're looking back at your work as you're driving, whatever. You turn around, the bucket's up here. That can kill someone. You can get top heavy, go over, whatever. I rebuild the whole joystick and still won't return. I mess with the cables, adjustments, this and that. I finally figure it's a spring inside the big hydraulic valve. There's a spring in the end caps that holds pressure and pushes it back. I pull the caps off, and they had come completely unscrewed. The retainer had come completely unscrewed the minute I put those on, and he knew about it because he tried to put them back on and he stripped them. So I had to go buy a huge metric tap and die set because these are big things, and retap them and put them back together, and it's flawless now. And then going up a hill, pulling a big load, and boom, crazy noise. I thought the trans exploded, came apart. It was the linkage on the hydrostatic transmission. It was a royal pain. I got that back in. Everything's going really, really well on it. It's completely usable now. I do have some mushiness in the cylinders on the loader, which I think I can solve with bleeding, hopefully. At the end of the day, it's a 2008 that's been rode hard and put away wet. So it's seen its better days. It's a struggle to come up the hill with a load. I mean, the trans whines like you wouldn't believe. And yes, I know hydrostatics whine, but there's not that much life left in this thing. I think at this point, everything's working good. No leaks. I got every button working on it, every light. I think it's time to put a for sale sign on it. Maybe make a little profit on it, and put that toward a new one. I can get a super nice 50 horse, twice the horsepower of this, with a full cab, air conditioning, heat. If I'm going to be out snow blowing here, you just can't do that on an open cab when you're doing a quarter mile or more driveway and whatnot. You just can't do it. In the summer, the heat. Today I was out screwing around, leveling some ground. It's 95 out here. I mean, you'll pass out. It's crazy, especially as you get older, So maybe I might try and find one more and flip it and make a little more money on it, and maybe almost pay for a new one. I don't know. We'll see. So that's kind of the plan right now. But yeah, it's up and working. I had a quick crash course in tractor mechanics. Obviously, for those of you that have been watching the channel for a long time, that's what I went to school for. That's how I made my living for a lot of years, and I'm still in the automotive space. So, if you can fix a car, you can fix this, you can fix that. But there's idiosyncrasies to everything. A lot more hydraulics in tractors than in cars. But if you know basic principles of operation and how to repair those things, it comes fairly easy. There's just quirks to different brands and whatnot. And thank God for YouTube, But yeah, got it all back. Pretty happy with the way it worked out. If anything, I look at it as a learning experience. Without those issues, there'd be a lot that I still didn't know about basic operation. And if you're going to have a place like this that needs constant attention and you need the machinery to do it, you better know how to fix it, because you can't afford to pay somebody to do it. You really can't at the end of the day. I compare it to like racing, whether you're racing cars, motorcycles, whatever. if you want to go out and race, or your kid go out and race, or so, you better know how to fix them, or you can't afford to do it, because you can't afford to pay someone, let alone time crunches. And there's time crunches in this. You got to make good weather. You want to get it done before the rain, or oh, there's a dry spell coming, we got to get this done now, or there's a deal on landscape stuff or whatever, and you got to do it now. With it being down like that, I missed when the ground was perfect. Now it's hard as a brick, and I can't get it to move, So I got to wait for a little bit of rain, not too much, not too little, you know. Like the farmers say, it's all about the weather and how much water you do or don't get, Farmers got to wait. They want rain, but man, they can't get out in the fields when it's wet. They'll sink anything up to the axles. Ask me how I know. That tractor right out there, right a few days after I got it, I sunk it to the headlights. And had I not put the bucket down, it would have kept on going. You can sink something where, if you don't have neighbors or friends or people with much, much bigger equipment than you do, I don't even know how some of these big tractors, I see these farmers, they'll stick one once in a while, and you see them try and get these things out, and they got 2 or 3 monster tractors and backhoes and everything, digging and pulling them out. It's the same way with anything. It's all relative, You're a farmer and you got this tractor, somebody that's got this one. Well, you got a little tractor like this, and you got a farmer across the road that's got a bigger one to help get you out, or whatever. But you better be able to do it yourself or between friends, or you just can't afford to do it, It's crazy. Kind of like this hobby. If you got to know certain things, or it's just not affordable. What else? Squeaky Cooler got in. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Where's Joe, man? Unlike Joe, I watched one of Joe's videos. He was pretty down for a while after the deaths in his family, and literally wasn't gonna have a place to live. Looks like he got some disability benefits, or he's working on them, and I think they are worked on a place for him to live and everything. So that's good. I'm happy for him. I'd like to talk to him. I got to give him a buzz or drop him an email or something, see how he's doing. Pretty rough patch for him. He's a good guy. He's a real good guy. But pass the word because been gone for almost 2 months, so I expected a slow night here. But hey, those that matter are here, right? And it was a little later to begin with, so I wanted to go on earlier. Just had some stuff I had to do when I got home. Actually, the wife's out of town. She's in she's behind enemy lines, let's just say. She's on the West Coast. There's no good states on the West Coast, as far as their governments and their laws go, at least. And let's just say it's not the biggest state on the West Coast, but they do have some marvelous seafood. I saw a text come through that I'd be in heaven with the oysters right now, and I would. I love oysters. So I wish I was there, but she never takes me with, I'd probably embarrass her or something. I don't know. Who knows? But anyhow, she's having fun, so let her have her fun. And we'll stay here and have fun with you guys. But tell me what you guys would like to see. Now might be a good time for a Mosin Nagant video, a couple of them maybe. I kept promising those and never did them. And I've got access to a couple right now that we could do some fun videos. So we're going to do that. And I'm thinking we're going to be good to go here in a month or two. And we always talked about a get-together. So I'm thinking about that. But it dawned on me, too, that we'll be pushing into hunting season almost. And I don't know how great an idea it would be to have a bunch of less than desirable folks come on out and start ripping off a few thousand rounds right before hunting season. But I didn't mean that. Trust me, only the finest of people will be invited. That was a line from some movie. Only the finest were in attendance. He was being facetious, just like I am. But yeah, so thinking about doing a get together, but might hold off till next summer. I don't know. I think the schedule is too far up in the air right now, but we're definitely going to do it. We're going to have a good time with it too. I'm going to get some videos together. I'm going to bring you some 2A stuff. Going to bring you some reviews. Going to bring you a lot of stuff. We always did our knife of the week whenever I did my live stream before we moved into the mobile suite here. And I like to bring you things that I find useful too, not just guns. And I came across something, if you collect guns, most people, they enjoy shooting them, but they also enjoy, fine design or the mechanicalness of it, or how well the craftsmanship is done on it or put together. And I think the same way. When it comes to a knife or a gun, sorry if I bore some of you that have been coming in here a long time, but I love the ability people have to take raw materials and such different materials, wood, raw steel or iron ore out of the ground, and change it, turn it into alloys, finish it to absolute perfection, and then put a gorgeous coating on it and meld the two together. And it performs a function in these type of cases I'm talking about, usually performs that function fabulously, right? And that's what I love about guns so much. That's what I love about knives. I just think that's amazing. Because everything's so perfect, right? Everything's so smooth and machined to perfection and finished to perfection. And I like that about it. It's somehow satisfying to my little bit of OCD I have, or maybe it's more than I think it is. I don't know, but I think everyone has a little OCD in them. They like order, you know what I mean? And there's certain things, something about guns, motorcycles, cars, whatever it is you're into. We like the lines, right? We see an art in it almost, and that's what I like. So if you talk to my wife, she'd say, I have way too many hobbies and way too many collections, and all you do is collect. What do these collections do? It's a thing. It keeps me busy. I enjoy owning the different variants of things to be able to compare and contrast and use and see the differences and enjoy them, that type of thing. And one of my fetishes just happens to be, guns. Then we have knives, but there's another one, and it's flashlights. I have an obsession with flashlights. How many of you guys like flashlights or have, I won't say a problem, but have maybe one or two more than you need laying around, although you can never have enough because you can never find them all the time. We all probably, if you don't, you should have your EDC flashlight, an everyday carry flashlight that goes with you. When you leave the house in the morning, your concealed carry, your everyday carry firearm goes on, your knife goes in your pocket, and your flashlight goes on your hip or in your pocket or on a keychain or whatever type of flashlight you're carrying. Arguably, if you don't have those three things on you, you're not a prepared man. You're just not. Maybe even a multi-tool, and you say, well, Chris, what do I got to wear? A battle belt to go to work or go out to dinner? No, you don't have to do that. But yeah, in some cases, sometimes depending on your job, there's some jobs out there you don't need that stuff, I guess. But I have a office job, a managerial job, Oh my God, it would cost me an extra hour a day just tool or something to open things, to cut things, to do things. And the same with a flashlight. I got to look at something up closer into and got to run and find a flashlight. So I always have a flashlight on me. And I'll admit, for a lot of years, I didn't carry one all the time. I'd always have one in my car and several at home and workshop and whatnot. But a couple of years ago, I just started carrying them every day. When I owned my factory up north, it was a need. I had to have one all the time. So I went through a multitude of them. My standby, the one I use constantly for years now, is a mag light, rechargeable. I don't have the model number, and yes, I do. Hold on, because this has been a great light. Let me grab it. Sorry, don't want to give you a view of my backside there. I came across the box in my storage unit, and I saved it for whatever reason. Probably because it was expensive, and I thought if it took a crap on me, I'd have the box and take it back. But this is the mag light. It's called a MagTac LED rechargeable system, and it comes with the light and the charge base. You hook a USB up to this micro USB and plug it into a block or a computer or whatever and charge it. This base can be mounted or set on a table, desk, bench, whatever. Can be mounted in a vehicle, plugged into the cigarette lighter, etc. Comes with the cords and everything, and it's rechargeable. It's got high, low, and then strobe. It will not fit most rifle mounts. This is a light to carry. It comes with the clip. You can put it on and off, keeps it from rolling. It does have the scalloped top here if you wanted to punch with it or what have you. It would cut somebody up pretty good. Comes with the whole kit. And it also, no, this one didn't have the different lenses, but had everything to do that. So you can mount it in a squad car. You can mount it in your truck. You can do whatever. And it's always there to recharge. I've had this at least 5 to 7 years. And it finally started acting weird, doing weird things. And I think it's the switch or the batteries went on the fritz. It says it's charged, won't take a charge, but doesn't work. So I got to read what the warranty is here. And it was expensive. I want to say it was about $200 back then. If I'm not mistaken, I haven't looked it up, but I know it was expensive. I thought it was expensive at the time. That's what it looks like. And I know I'm telling you, you're saying, well, Chris, it took a shit. What are you telling us this thing's so great? Because there's not a lot of flashlights out there that'll last 5, 7, 8 years. And this one did. And I used it. I mean, every single day I used this thing. No price on it. I'll have to look it up. But anyhow, if you come across one of these or you're looking for one, I would grab this. For some reason, I don't see mag lights anywhere anymore. Not in, probably because they're in cases because people steal them because they're so a lot of money. But a lot of places that used to carry mag lights aren't carrying them. I don't know why. This I bought at a Gander Mountain actually. But I'm going to either send this one in for warranty or get another one. But in the meantime, 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago even, we got some samples in our service department. Guy came in and gave us a whole bunch of them to give to all our technicians, these flashlights, and try them out, see what you think. And at the time I looked at the brand and looked at the light, it seemed like a decent light, an okay light. But you look at the name and I went, some cheap Chinese junk, you know. It's called Nebo, and you've probably all seen them at hardware stores, anywhere that sells tools, things like that, home improvement centers. You've seen Nebo somewhere. Well, over the years, they've gotten better and better and better and better. And I was at a local, where was I? A drugstore. and I was waiting in line to get my prescriptions. And I look over and they got a clearance rack, and these were on it. And I wouldn't have bought it normally because I've seen them this style before. And they wanted like 30 or 40 bucks. Well, they were on sale clearance for $12. I thought for 12 bucks, I needed this one. It went on the blink, and I thought, hey, that's awesome. It's thinner than the other ones. It's rechargeable. It's made by Nebo. It's really well made, well machined, anodized finish. It's got a clip, what seems to be a really nice switch, and it's got high, low, high, low, and strobe. And you can do it momentary too without clicking it. So it's got all that. You can take the cap off here, and it comes with rechargeable lithium batteries or battery pack. But you can remove those and use regular AAAs if you wanted to as well. So that's cool. These batteries ever go on the fritz, I could maybe replace them, or I could just put AA's. Obviously, it's LED, and you can change the flood pattern here. It's threaded, and there's O-ring seals in it, and it's smooth as glass, and it seals up real nice. And same with the cap. The clip's removable, and it says Nebo there, if you can see it. And you say, well, and when I first got it, I'm like, okay, it comes with a little cord. How do I recharge it? And I'm looking, I don't see a port anywhere. Well, this here is reverse threaded. So you unscrew it, if you can see. You see the O-ring, the red O-ring in there. It goes down, and there's your recharge port. Plug the little cord in. That little circle there turns red when it's charging and turns blue when it's done. And I was shocked at how long it lasted on one charge. And the nice thing is it didn't get to a point and then shut off. It went dim, I won't say it fairly quickly, but at least I had some warning, like a one-use warning maybe. And recharged a couple hours, it's back up and running. And if, like I said, I like it because if the batteries go dead, I can put regular ones in. I also, while I still love that mag light. The mag's a little shorter than this, but it's thicker. It's about an inch, a little over an inch on that one. This is thinner. So, if you don't want to carry a big light, I carry this one either in a pocket, but you could carry it in a shirt pocket, jacket, whatever. But then I found this, and it's a holster, but it's for your flashlights, and it will hold any size flashlight from something as thin as this right there, but there's elastic. It'll expand to hold a huge full-size mag light, and it's all elastic, and it'll stretch out. Then I found that, hey, it'll also allow my knife to clip in. Now I can have my concealed carry firearm on me and this on me, and I'm good to go. And it's like a holster. So it clips over your belt like so, and it swivels. So you can swivel it all the way around. Nice thing, if it's on your belt and you're walking, you can swivel it, turn your flashlight on, and you don't have to hold your flashlight. It's pointing ahead of you or pointing at your work that you're working on if it's at that level. Or you can point it down at any angle, however you want to do it. It's great. This came from Harbor Freight for dirt cheap, like under 10 bucks, and keeps everything safe and on you, because this kept getting pushed out of my pocket. I'd sit down in the car and fall out. I didn't even feel it fall out, and you end up losing it. But yeah, how do you beat that holster? It's made by Night Eyes, Nite, IZE. I guess it's 2 words. Night Eyes. And Harbor Freight. So this is the best flashlight holster I've ever seen because it can adapt to any one of my lights. It'll work great with the mag light when I get that replaced, everything. And I can clip my knife in there and it ain't going anywhere. Everything's in one spot. Sometimes when you got it all down in your pocket, when you're sitting down, it's a pain, right? So this up on your belt or over your pants or however you want to do it, it keeps everything together. So I grab my gun, I grab this, and I'm out the door. Done. Can't beat it. Sometimes you find things, and this is really, really well made. I mean, there's something hard in here. It's all nylon, durable, double stitched, all edged all the way around. Really nice quality Kydex clip and everything. Riveted, just super nice. And the bottom's open so you can turn your light on while it's in there. So how do you beat it? And we got just a cheap $10 knife in there. All my stuff's in storage, like I said. And this Gerber, I forget where I got it. It's a cheapy Gerber. I think it was $9, but it does everything I need it to do for day-to-day tasks. Would I want to have to survive on this knife or use for any real super serious purposes? Probably not, but it's held up real well to beating the snot out of it around the dealership and everything. So hell, in this whole setup here, and I didn't get it all at one time, they were all purchased separately. It just worked out this way. But 7, 12, 19, $29, everything. And I've used it for quite a while. The knife, the flashlight, everything, I've had it for quite a while. And nothing's went wrong. It's recharged great. The holster's held up, everything. So for under $30, I want to say that Maglite was over 200. I don't know. And don't get me wrong, it's great. But LEDs have come a long way since then, as have the batteries and everything. It'll be interesting to see what Maglite does about that one. We'll see. Pretty sure they always had a lifetime warranty. I don't know. But I got a drawer full of Maglites laying around that need to be updated to LED or sent back to be fixed or whatever, and I just haven't done them. Maybe I'll send them a whole care package full. I've got my old police Maglites, a ton of different ones. I got black, silver, red, blue, every color under the sun, in every size. I don't know if anybody even uses the big old D cell lights anymore. I forget. I had like a 5, 6, 7 cell D light, D battery light. Crazy, huh? Now you get 100 times the light out of something that small. Nice, nice, nice. Another thing I've sort of has become I won't say everyday carry, but something that's with me all the time in my truck all the time. And partially, I used to do in college, I always had some with me, but it's grown into a must. And a lot of it's because getting back into hunting real serious, but a lot is just living out here. But there's other things too. The other day out on my boat, things like that. And that's a pair of binoculars. And they don't have to be the best. They don't have to be great. I'm not a glass snob, or scope snob or binocular snob. When I'm hunting, I've got a pair of Nikons, which are middle of the road toward low end, but higher end Nikon, not Nikon. Nikon, I guess it is. Binoculars, but these I got cheap. They're just Bushnells, and I bought them. They're 16 by 32, And I bought them because of the size and how they fold up. They come in a little pack. They fold down super small. They could fit on your belt if you wanted to. They come with a thing around it, which I'd almost cut this off because I hate thin strings like this. And I find it almost just gets in the way all the time. I keep it wound up around here, but then it gets in the way all the time, especially when I got to look at something quick, like a deer running across the field or something. But that's why I started carrying them again, because I'm driving in and out of the property or down the road here or wherever, and I'm constantly looking for wildlife, deer, turkeys, what have you, certain deer. You know, okay, there's 4 deer over there. Great. What good does that do me? I want to see, is that buck I thought was here? Or, hey, is that the buck I thought maybe made it through from last year? And it's nice to have a pair where, if you know anything about binoculars, how you focus the one eye and then adjust the other one. And then obviously here, but you focus based off the one eye here. And these do a pretty darn good job for what they are. In my truck, I could actually carry a bigger pair, and I'll probably end up keeping those Nikons in the truck. But man, if you don't want to take up a lot of space or have one with you, even you're at the range and you don't want to walk all the way down, well, you probably get a good enough view with these. Wildlife, boating. I'm trying to see with another guy. Maybe it's slow where I'm at. I see all these boats over there. Are they doing anything? Is it worth moving? Well, before I go pull the anchor and go over there and waste all that time, take a look, see if they're catching anything, you know, that type of thing. You never know when you need to see something a little closer up, and they come in handy for so many things. The other day, they were working on the roof of my house, and from ground level, I couldn't see if what this certain little thing was proper or not. Grabbed these, took a look. Yep. Okay, no, it's a problem. They need to go take a look at that. A million different things, especially as you get older and your eyes go to shit, because I'm constantly wearing glasses. There. Wow, I look like I have a decent camera now. Right now, I'm like, man, we're having terrible reception here. Anyhow, just a few things that I find super necessary. This, I can't live without it on a daily basis. I can't not have a knife on me, a pocket knife for a million tasks. And the flashlight, partially, it's, again, just aging, you know. You need more light to see things, but I can do things faster, help out employees, help out customers, what have you. And again, I'm not a technician. I'm not out fixing things, but things come up all the time. And things like this, even if you live in the city, you know, something happens. It's not bad to have a few of these things that we take for granted, or maybe have around, but we think, oh, I only use these when I'm hunting or whatever. No, there's a million other things you can use them for. Some sporting, some tactical, some maybe important issue. You know, maybe you're stuck somewhere in traffic and something's going on. Bad guys are doing something, cops or whatever. You just need to see a little further down the road. Whatever the case may be, it's not bad to have it. Something, I'm sure, I don't know what I paid for these. I have no idea. But I'll bet they weren't over $40. And they work really well. They're nice rubber coated, everything. Focus at 300 yards, they're pretty clear. I can make out even a bump buck at 300 yards with these things. So just things you carry with you day to day. And when I find something that's nice, I like to pass it on. I'm going to throw one more thing out there for you too. And it's in the same realm, whether it's hunting or whether it's tactical. Most of us in some way, shape, or form own something or some items or some clothing in a certain camouflage pattern. And a lot of us rely on military stuff. You know, there's multicam. I'm looking at a plate carrier over here that's multicam. A lot of my gear is multicam. But it had been a lot of years since I was doing any type of real hunting more than, opening weekend stuff. Hadn't been doing much bow hunting, and bow hunting, you have to have good camouflage. And when this season's bow season came around, I thought, well, I can wear some of my military stuff, but a lot of that was noisy, depending on the material, or it was too heavy or not heavy enough or what have you. And I just didn't want to spend a ton of money. I had to buy a new bow and all kinds of stuff. And my wife would have just lit me up if I spent what I wanted to spend on some nicer stuff. So I went with an inexpensive house brand from in Wisconsin. We have Fleet Farms and Farm and Fleets here. And I went with a brand there because when I bought it, we were going into later part of the season. Leaves were mostly off the trees. I wanted like a bark pattern, whatever. But then you got turkey season, you got early season, mid-season, where leaves are on the trees. There's a lot of green left. And I thought, man, I really like this camo. And I've come to really like everything that this company does, every bit of their clothing. I never thought much of them originally when my kids started wearing all of it because they make stuff for all sports, but it's Under Armour. And I don't know what you think of them as a company. I don't know what their stance is on anything. I haven't researched it. Frankly, I don't care in this case because whether they're good or bad as far as their political stances and things. But their gear is, in my opinion, head and shoulders over anything out there, along with the patterns that they make. And I bought a sweatshirt, a hoodie, and I loved it so much, just how it was made, how it fit, how it moved, how quiet it was, how comfortable, how warm and cool it could be. And the pattern, it just disappears in so many different times a year. And I'll show you this. I had been searching for this because I had just about everything they made except for a baseball style hat. There's, what is it? They don't say the name on here, but I'll find it for you for next week. It's Forest something, but the pattern just disappears. There's blacks in it. There's tans, browns. It's hard to tell on a hat because you see all different pieces, sewn in. And then they make one that's called Baron, which is you get rid of the greens essentially in it, but it's very similar. Their materials, they make shirts that almost look the same and are almost the same weight, except one keeps you cool, one keeps you warm. And it works. However the technology works, it works. I've got the face masks. I've got that hat. I've got a beanie hat. I've got jacket, pants. And the pants remind me of Cry, the military pants, the expensive ones. They just sort of remind me of that with the knee gussets and everything. You can move in these things like nothing else. They don't bind. They don't hang too low in the crotch. You ever have that? And you can't lift your legs, or worse, they're too tight. It just, you can move in this stuff. And especially bow hunting, that's so important because you're in a tree and you're planning on the deer coming that way and he's over here and you got to come all the way around and draw and everything. And it's silent, absolutely silent stuff. You can get by with a jacket, a pair of pants, pick out the sweatshirt or a fleece and a hat. They got gloves. They got everything. I even have the boots, which I've liked Under Armour shoes. And by the way, none of these people, anything I'm talking about here, sponsors me or gives me anything for free. They don't know who I am. I'm a nobody. I'm a pimple on a gnat's ass. That's all I am. I just find things I like, and I like to tell people about them because then guess what? People buy them and they keep making it. So when it wears out, I can get it again. When I find something I like my boots, I want another pair. I want another pair in the closet, brand new in the box. So when these wear out, I got them. because they change things, like my boots. They changed 2 little things and screwed the whole thing up. Anyhow, the boots are magnificent, super light, quiet, the most stable things I've ever worn, waterproof, and they're warm, and I never sweat in them. I mean, it's amazing stuff, the materials, and there's other companies using a lot of these materials too, but you put the pattern together, the quality of how it's put together, how it's sewn and all that. I've had nothing come loose, no threads, this, that, no rips. Wears like iron, washes. I could throw it in a ball in a bag and wet it and stick it in the corner for a week and pull it out of the bag and put it on and look like it just came out of the wash or whatever. No wrinkles, not that hunting matters, but just nice stuff. So they only make 1 line of hunting gear in the 2 patterns. So check it out. It's on their website. It doesn't, once in a while they have sales at these Fleet Farm on it and you'll get 10 or 20% off. But they do have some sales online once in a while, I saw, where things drop, certain items drop, the price drops pretty good. It's not cheap, but it's not it's crazy expensive like Sitka and some of these other brands that are out of their minds, what they ask for this stuff, you know. And of course, you're not with the cool kids if you're not wearing Sitka or one of those other ones, you know. And I'm not going to pay that for something that, to me, granted, it's funny, a manufacturer, a sales rep for one of the big camo companies, a guy made a comment to him about, you know, deer can see such and such, whatever he was talking about, color or something. And the sales rep, this is a true story, turned to him and said, "I'm not selling camo to deer." So, in other words, it's made for you and I. It's made to appeal to us, not necessarily the deer. And part of the reason I went to this stuff from that cheap store brand is walking into my stand and one of my trail cameras catches me on camera at night, and they have infrared lights on them to take pictures of the deer at night. Well, it took a picture of me, my back, and I was glowing. I was like a Christmas tree. Better than that. I was like a full moon out there, as bright as one. They put brighteners in the materials and in the dyes, and this had a lot of white in it. And oh my God, that light pattern just lit it up. And deer see in different patterns, I'm sure. I read and watched an entire thing on it. Deer see white really, really well. Blue as well. And I must have looked like a Christmas tree in this thing. And the first time I wore it, I was in a tree stand, and a deer walked up and looked right up at me and sat there staring at me. I thought, one off. He must have caught me. I must have been silhouetted or something. Well, the third time it happened in 3 days, that's it. I'm done with it. And then I saw the picture and I understood why. So first thing I did was take my sweatshirt I had bought and go out and stand in front of the camera and take a picture, and nothing. Be very careful of that, guys. It's imagine if you were trying to use it for a serious thing. Maybe we had something go down like they did in Israel, and you're going to throw your camo on and think you're all good, except, you know, night vision or whatever makes it glow, or so a certain type of basic light, you know, infrared, for instance, makes you stand out like a glowing LED. That's what it did on this particular case. I was shocked. And I thought, well, I'll wash it, get the whiteners out of it. I washed it 2-3 times, nothing. Glows like it's electrified. It's terrible. So be careful on that. Let's see. Squeaky. I think we're all dealing with some personal stuff in one way or another, myself included. Hopefully nothing too much to handle. Unfortunately, it's part of life. Just got to make the best things. I assume you're talking with Joe. Yeah, everybody does. We all go through different trials and tribulations, different events in life. It's life, right? Wouldn't be life without it. Um, some events worse than others, and then some things sometimes we all know that person where whatever it is, luck, fate, God, whatever, seems to follow them, and they just have a series of things happen that just pounds them and pounds them and pounds them. And, when you're going through life, day to day, work, out, play, whatever, and something happens and makes you angry or whatever, sometimes it's hard to do. I have to catch myself and stop myself sometimes, but sometimes you got to step back because you don't know what's going on with another person or what just happened to them or something they're dealing with, and maybe they just need a little space or a little room to vent, or you give them a pass for whatever happened. The old saying, how's it go? But for God, there go I, or something. But for the grace of God, there go I. You never know what's going on in someone's life, and they don't know what's going on in yours. So sometimes you just gotta. It could be anything. It could just be, like I said, giving something a little pass once in a while, or just a kind word, anything, a helping hand, something like that could mean the difference between night and day for somebody. And a lot of people that are in a situation or got a lot on their shoulders, sometimes they don't show it, So you got to keep your eyes open, and if they're friends, family, you maybe have a little extra insight into them and watch for signs, we don't want anybody to do anything stupid over stupid reasons, because at the time it seems like too big a problem or issue, or who knows what, like you said, people go through anything. So I guess what I'm telling you is be a little nicer to people once in a while. I know, let's see, Squeaky. Oh, I have a couple of PowerTac flashlights I really like. PowerTac's the brand, Ross. I really like model E11G2 is one. I'll have to check those out. Hopefully they're not expensive, huh? Squeaky says, I know that I have to pick up some optics and lights for my stuff. I haven't picked up anything lately either. Clobbered by bills. Everybody's struggling, dude. It's here. I saw it in my business. Our RVs went up 30% overnight, period. Some more in some cases, but we did see some leveling out with the new model year coming in. They've brought some prices down. In a lot of cases, they cheapen stuff up to save money, and it just, God, it got so bad. It was embarrassing. I've told my reps, I said, you guys got to stop this. This stuff is like junk, Not all brands, but some. And some listen. So that's a good thing. But yeah, prices are up. And where it hurts, groceries, gas, all of that stuff, interest rates, things like that. So yeah, it's tough. There's, no matter where you're at or what level you live at or how much you make, it affects everybody sort of equally, because everybody lives at whatever level they're at, based off income or what have you. So, whether you're rich, poor, in the middle, it affects everybody the same, So, yeah, it's tough, and you got to make good purchase decisions when you make it, knowing that you're confident in what you're buying. Do your research and then shop around like anything. Shop. Sometimes the best deal or the lowest price out there, as they say, is not the best deal, for sure, right? And sometimes the old standbys aren't everything they're cracked up to be. I'm finding that out in the tractor world, that, yes, price is a big thing, but do you have dealer support near you? If you don't, or parts support, you might have gotten a great deal, but it could be worthless. So you just got to be smart. Protect your money. You worked hard for it. Buy the things that work, that keep working, and that are affordable. It's like firearms. Maybe you're in a position where, hey, you haven't bought anything in a long time. Maybe you don't need anything. Maybe you just have an itch and you want to go scratch it. Well, what do I have that I could get rid of or trade or turn into this? There's a lot of ways to do it, guys. Like tractors, I can't afford just to go out and, stroke a check for $35,000 tractor. So I'll make a little money on this one. Maybe I'll find another one, make some money on that one. And before you know it, boom, done. It can take some time. It takes patience too. Think about, like you said, I need to buy some optics and some lights and stuff for guns. Think about what a want and a need is. Do I think a rifle should have optics and a light? Your primary defense weapon, whether it's a pistol or a rifle. Personally, I don't like lights on a pistol. I'd rather carry my light, in one hand and the firearm in the other. But on a rifle, absolutely, your main defensive rifle should most definitely have, at a minimum, a red dot, preferably something that'll keep on working. The reticle will keep working even if you lose battery, an etched reticle type of deal, at a minimum. You can argue iron sights are fast. Yeah, and there ain't much faster than a red dot. Maybe you need something for a little more distance. Maybe you want a variable optic, whatever it is. Make that decision on what is the most versatile, what's in your price range, and what has that quality level that will at least last, work well, and is reliable. This isn't just my opinion. I heard this from one of the top instructors at Thunder Ranch, and a few other places too. Holosun has really come into their own. But I've been preaching that for a long time, and there's nothing wrong with primary arms red dots either. I have just of the 510C, I have 8 of them. So it's not a test case of one. It's 8 of them on 8 different rifles, shotguns, this, that, the other, that I beat the snot out of all the time, and they always work. I have not had one go bad, not one have so much as a glitch. And their basic red dots are the same, and primary arms is the same as well. I've not had a single problem with anything primary arms or Holosun. And I can't say that for some of the better brands. I like Vortex too, but I've had a couple problems with Vortex on the lower end of their scale. But their red dots seem to be just fine. Yeah. If you're going to do something, you want to stay in a budget, you need at least a red dot. And you can get a Holosun for under $200, I think. If you don't want to go with the push button, go with the dial spin for the red dot. I think you might, under sale, get it under 100. I'm not positive anymore with prices. And lights. For a weapon light, I guess at a minimum, Streamlight maybe. Don't do the Olight thing or some of the other cheapy Chinesium stuff out there. Stick with a minimum of that. Yeah, they do just fine. Chase got to head out later over here on the coast. Good to see you. Hope your bucks are starting. Yeah, we'll get some pictures and we'll show you some from last year, and hopefully some that made it through. And you will get a video this week. on we're going to do a follow-up on the Yugo, and then we're going into some other stuff. And you'll have a good time. You'll enjoy it, I promise. So watch for that. Comment on the videos, any questions you have or something you want me to do or add or whatever. I always keep a pretty close watch on comments when videos first come out for at least a week, and we try to answer anything. You guys know how to get a hold of me. You can get a hold of me on Facebook, Instagram, or my email address here on YouTube. If you go into About on the channel, you can find that and shoot me an email, and go from there. So those power techs are pretty reasonable. Yeah, I'll have to check those out. Like I said, I got a flashlight fetish. Anyhow, good to talk about some of these gains we made. The bump stock band, the brace band. That brace thing was pretty important to me. I truly find use in them, and it makes a lot of weapons simply unusable. That frankly we've all invested a lot of money in, both the weapon and the brace, and to have them just unusable without it is a big deal. I think the next thing we're going to test and review will be that Osprey suppressor. That's going to be the next thing we go down. So hopefully they are still pumping out 24-hour approvals on those babies. We'll see. My luck, it'll go up to 6 months or a year. Who knows? But we're going to get that going. We're going to keep fishing. I got a little tan going, from being out fishing. Boy, I got burnt the other day on Father's Day. I hope y'all had a great Father's Day. I really do. I had a really good Father's Day. It's been a little tough the last couple of years with Father's Day, but I enjoyed the company of my daughter, and my other daughter is out of the country right now. She is traveling to just about one of the most exotic places I could ever think of, halfway around the world, literally, once in a lifetime chance. And I don't say much on the channel, but maybe when she's back, I'll let you know what it was. But it was pretty interesting. And so a lot going on, a lot to see and do. I'll also get a video updating you on what's going on here. And I'm going to throw in a couple locations for a range, and I want you guys to comment what you think as to my range choice or position. There's a lot to think of. I guess the best way to do is an aerial view. And my wife says, "Oh, you're crazy. I'm not living my life based off a bunch of deer moving around." Well, forget if you hunt or not. You want that wildlife. I love every morning nothing more than I go outside and I get ready for work or to do whatever, and I see wildlife moving. Turkeys everywhere, deer. I found out we even have bear down here now recently. So there's that in the area. There's everything you could imagine is here. And I'm so grateful for everything I have and for this place. It's just amazing. It's only going to get better. And I just want to share some of it with you, just the wildlife. Something as simple as a raccoon the other day. Things you don't normally get to see in the hurry hubbub of life. I'm standing there looking, and this place was so untouched that although I'm standing inside my new house looking out, I'm watching this raccoon do what raccoons do. Whatever that is, in a natural state when he doesn't think anybody's looking and he's not running down an alley or between two houses. He's doing what he does. And, I wouldn't think twice about a raccoon. But when you see it like that and you're standing there, it's interesting, and it's amazing, and how it all intertwines and moves. So whether I hunt or not, I love having the deer, and I like making the habitat the property better for them, so there's more of them and more to see. I think I like taking care of the habitat and the property as much as I do hunting, to make it, if that makes sense. I don't know. Yeah, certainly. Not just out there hunting for meat. I hunt specific individual animals, and the rest I don't want to bother. I don't want to. No, we're just not out there to kill things, I guess is what it is. But yeah, it's fabulous. I can't. I thank my lucky stars every day, and you can do the same in your little piece of the world. This isn't some great crazy monster farm, something or other. It's not. It's just my little corner of the world, and it's just neat. And it's neat to build it into something better. And hopefully we can bring you that, show you that, and go from there. So what'd you say, Ross? Look forward to seeing new videos, Chris. Yeah, me too. It's always fun to do them, and get a little of that motivation back. Spring, summer, warm weather's here, everything. So yeah, it feels good to get out. I try to shoot every night, whether it's a little practice with my carry gun, or whether it's I've been trying to at least 3 days a week shoot in a minimum, and because you don't always have time, so I go out and I shoot 6 arrows on Monday, and on Wednesday, after work, I'll throw 6 arrows downrange, and one day on the weekend I'll shoot 6 arrows. I hadn't done it for 2 months, 3 months. Amazing how you're not necessarily out of shape, but everything. It just, man, it's like work when you haven't done it in a while. Shoot 6 arrows twice a week, man, the difference it'll make for your hunting season will be incredible, and it's the same with guns. I mean, if you have the opportunity, you live somewhere where you can walk outside and shoot at 25 yards or whatever, load up 1 mag a week and go out and pop it and work on it. It doesn't, your skills are perishable, quickly perishable. So make sure you're doing it every day. You think, what's 1 mag, 1 target? I got to go do this. I got to go do that. I got to hang the target. Put a steel target out there somewhere close by where when you got 10 minutes, you can throw on some hearing protection, walk outside, get a little practice. 5 minutes later, you're back to doing what you're going to do. That's the best way to do it, once a week. And it doesn't take a lot of time, doesn't take a lot of money, doesn't whatever. If you're not lucky enough to be able to do that, then make the time. Maybe once, even if it's once every 2 weeks. You don't have to make a range trip and have it be expensive because you're shooting 300, 400, 500 rounds. Grab a box of shells, go to the range, pay the fee, shoot, go home. Find a club that's cheap. Find a friend where you can stop by, whatever the case may be, but just get those reps in. If you don't, it's perishable. I was shocked. Just in the 2 months, I had shot after bow season for a while, and I took 2 months. Oh my God. The difference. You have to keep shooting, especially something like that where you're pulling 70 pounds with muscles you don't normally use, but firearms same way. So make sure you're getting your practice in. Guys, it's 2 hours. I want to cut it off here. Next week, we'll go over some specific stuff on the Yugo after you get the video and everything, and we'll talk about that next week, and we'll go from there. All right. Thanks for welcoming me back. Thanks for stopping in. I know it's been a while, but we are back on schedule. This will be every week, Wednesdays, 8 o'clock. And we'll see you next week, and watch for the videos. Guys, love you all. Love everything you've done for the channel. By the way, I think we're pushing 10,000 subscribers. I don't know how, since I haven't done anything for 2 months, but it's getting there. So please like, subscribe, click the bell so you get the notifications. Share it with a friend. Share it on your Facebook, what have you. If you like it, other people like it, share it. Love you all. Thanks for everything. Stay safe. Stay practicing. Do something to support the Second Amendment. And do something nice for somebody else this week. All right? Thanks again, guys. And as always, Rockford Ordnance